What's up, studs? Kano here. Bulls on Wall Street. Today was one heck of a rebound day in the stock markets. We got to talk about this because, yesterday looked so nasty. There was no getting around it. Yesterday looked so nasty. It looked like we were finally going to get that pullback that, everybody had been waiting for. We had a fake break in, right? The Qs. Yesterday we had a topping tail in the IWM after a break of range. It just looked nasty, and it looked like maybe with all these reversals intraday that we were seeing, and we saw, guys, huge amounts of reversals intraday. Look at the IWM, and look at CVNA, and look at AI, this morning. But like all these kind of speculative names were starting to roll over yesterday. Look at Affirm, into the close, dropped like 5 points. UPST, same thing. So it looked like we were going to get finally some big pull, and then lo and behold, in the pre-market today, we had some job stuff. Who even knows? Employment stuff. We had just some slate of economic news, and the market started gap up. It was up like 0.6% in the pre-market, and then it was off to the races. And we ended up breaking not just the high from the previous days, but the highs from the last few days. And so that whole worry that I had in my head basically was negated. And that's what can happen in these kind of markets, guys. Sometimes the market can be so bullish that even the nasty down days that technically would tell you, hey, we've got some work to do, all of a sudden that frown turns upside down. And that's what happened today. I mean, if you look at the Qs, 1.3%, right? Dude, the IWM up 1% almost, right? The SPY up 0.72%. And so at this point, we've got all sorts of news tomorrow. As always, at Fridays, I believe at 8:30, we'll have some employment stuff. And then at 10, we have like the Michigan Consumer Confidence. And then we have one other thing that usually goes. So there's kind of two moves that happen on Fridays. And so the market is primed now at some sweet spots. Whether it breaks out or not, we don't necessarily know yet. But tomorrow's just going to be a telling day. We are nudging right up on that 460 in the SPY. And we're just tightening up right under. And the more you tighten up under, the more bullish you can get. If you look at the QQQs, right? This got negated as we broke over, so we're just still in a consolidation here. And then, of course, the IWM is still, flagging now. Let's just pretend like this tail didn't exist, and we can go about our day, right? Let's just pretend that tail doesn't exist. We can go about our day. So we shall see tomorrow what's going on. But the market with the slate of news tomorrow will be, prime time set up to do it. And let me just see what we got going on tomorrow here. Boom, 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 boom. Always the week ahead. You can always go. I like this trade exchange. I don't know if anybody uses this, but it's cheap. I use Benzinga too, but I like trade exchanges because it's cheap. It's just a very easy feed. So you got 8:30 employment report, 10 o'clock consumer sentiment, 10 a.m. inflation expectations. But yeah, they have just a nice, easy layout. It looks super dot matrixy, like MS-DOS, but I like the overall look of it because it's just simple, right? And that's all we can ask for sometimes is just having a nice, simple platform. So we've got all sorts of goodies happening here. We got all sorts of goodies for tomorrow. So let's dig into the watch list and we'll go through the game plans of some of these things because there's a lot of interesting stuff happening, right? A lot of good setups that are really, really setting up here. So we saw the huge move. And today, you know what? I should have known. I underperformed today. I should have known. There was a huge tell, right? In terms of, dude, we had this AMD. We had this AMD just cooking, right? Let me bring up my flag list here. But, man, we had this AMD just cooking. And it was all day just trending higher. And so if you go over here, let me stick this somewhere here. But if you go in and, man, you'd see this. Where does this bad boy go? There it is. Man, if you see this thing, man, it popped up, it dipped to the 9 EMA, then it popped up, dipped to 20 EMA. Second test always better on the 20 EMA. And then, like, you just start cruising and cruising and cruising. Dudes, that's where you want to be, like, that's where you really want to be with this stuff. I think that's where you can have yourself, man, that's where you can really have yourself some fun. So, just be mindful. We got so much good stuff happening here now. We got a big-time breakout in AMD. We saw, right, just look at a low-level PR in Meta here. And it's still, dude, it still had like a really nice move. And so large caps look like they were dead for a little bit, but you got these things on support now. They pulled back a decent amount. So you got some things here. But let's talk about the regular watch list. I'm still trading some of these large caps because they're just fun, but there's other names here that we can do. Look at this JetBlue. So JetBlue has a big base breakout here. A lot of shorts in this bad boy, right? It was a $20 stock just a little bit ago. I think this is a primetime candidate for tomorrow, you know, for a secondary move. Watch out for a red to green on this. If you look at, what's it, Love? See this? Like, this thing's been trending, right, from 22, 29. Not a sexy name, so not really like my number one, but these are just, you know, I'm just filtering by percentage gain. RVLV, I want this type of stock because this thing used to be $100. Old Revolve Group, 72 million share float. You got a nice range break here, just a simple setup. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. If the market truly hits up, truly speeds up, Spaceballs here has got a range break at 230. I won't play this. It's a little bit more of a grinder. You know, you got to stay in this kind of name, like, yeah, like 30,000 shares. Stay in it for like 2 hours, right? I like AMD. Let's watch this one. If you get a weak open on this, then let's try to red to green this. You know, just a little bit of a gap down on this bad boy. We can red to green this bad boy. This one I like. So this is like a little bit of a base breakout. Old Big Lots here. So you've got this base breakout, and then you got a flag pattern coming out of this bad boy. This thing is really ready to party. Like, you could take this thing right off the gate tomorrow if the market holds up. You've got yourself the Googler here, right? Googler's got a range break here, up 5% today. Google usually doesn't move that much. You know, whatever PRs they came out with McDonald's and this kind of, you know, holy moly today, it was fluffy, but man, it got the spark it needed. It's now 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing if the market holds up, squeeze into the 140s tomorrow. Dude, I like this SWTX. You got this move from 20 to 35, pull back to the 9. Just nice, easy consolidation, 3 to 10 day, right? 3 to 10 day consolidations in this market are really ideal. Dude, that's got a good look to it. Let's add that to the list. Rivian, top of the list tomorrow, right? You got the shorts in it. You've got a little bit of a trend around up 5%. It's still an inside day. I would consider this an inside day from the previous day. So you got yourself, dudes, 1942. You got a range break. That's ready to party. This one's a little bit more speculative, but you got a really nice bottoming pattern. 7 to 10. Nice, easy consolidation. 9 EMA curling up into it. Not many of these kind of patterns left. It is a little bit low volume, so, you know, you got to kind of trade this a little bit smaller due to lack of liquidity. 2 million shares is still there. You can do it, but it's not, you know, it's not ideal, right? ARM, still waiting for the ARM Nation to break this 64. If it's going to do it, tomorrow could be the day, right? Remember last Friday, the squeezes. What's happening with Options X, 0DT, all this stuff? If there's a spark on a Friday, even the smallest spark, all of the sudden, you could get these huge squeezes in the markets as the options traders are starting to just pile into this stuff. Snow, I think out of the large caps, this is top of the list for me tomorrow, right? You've got yourself the earnings gap, this multi-day inside consolidation. You got a longer-term breakout setting up here. A pretty good ATR, 7 points. But that ATR will expand if this thing breaks. You'll start to see this thing really cooking. I got a CVNA, very orderly, low-volume pullback today. It seemed a little bit dead, but I think this thing is ready to party here. You just came back to the 9, retested this breakout spot. Multiple inside days. Any break over the 200-day moving average sets this S after its earnings gapper. You had a rest day today. This thing is prime time ready for that 24 break. Path of gods. After that breakout, you've pulled back into the 9 EMA. This is fully capable now, if it can hold here, of attacking that 25. When the day it goes, it'll probably rip like 7, 8, 9, 10%, and it'll be off to the races. I'm leaving the crypto stocks alone. One I do like is this 3-day pullback in Roblox. You know, usually like when you get like this kind of pattern, like see how it tested it the third time here, but it was kind of up like 5, 6 days in a row. Now that it's pulling back, it's got a really orderly, light 3-day pullback that's very bullish. I like it before breakouts when they have like small red days where they're down like 0.1%, 0.2%, 0.3%. It's only 10 cents. Something negligible that just a couple trades could do, so it's essentially flat. It didn't move. That's when you got yourself some good chatter on these things. And then I like this Chewy. I was trying to add it today, but I had it 19, on one of these dips and thinking it might squeeze off, but it did it. But I think this has the chance. We've seen this gap down reversal play quite a bit, like Boeing did the same thing, right? Nasty earnings right here, and then kind of reversal. We've seen this quite a few times. Pan W, see this like this was your gap down on the earnings and then reversal. Sometimes it just clears out the last of the shorts and the stop losses, and then you get the nice reversal on it. And I like this PayPal. This PayPal's, the payment sector has been hot. You got a little bit of a spot here at the 60. It may need another day or two to tighten up, but you're getting there. You're getting there. This theme, I don't think, is going away, the buy now, pay later stuff. I think that's going to be with Affirm and all these things, that they're going to be in play for a little bit of time. Guys, that's the main list, and we'll look for gappers and stuff tomorrow. But trade well. There's a lot of setups over here. But think about just like ATR, what's bottoming, what's tightening up, and I think you guys are going to have a good Friday. Let me know if you have any questions. Adios, muchachos.